Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome back to the Soul Citizens. I am Griffin Gaming RPG. Today is Sunday, February the 15th in Coromore weekend, and we want to send a lot of love and thoughts to everybody who's out there today joining us. We are going to have a very wonderful special show today. We're having another exciting, momentous moment where we're getting the chance to introduce a new member to the Soul Citizens team. But before we get to him, I want to first introduce my co-producer and friend, the one and the only fastcart FC. FC, how the heck are you?
I'm doing well, and Ralph Havoc, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm doing
wow.
well. I had fun on Paul's show yesterday. If people want to check that out, it should be up on YouTube. The cabin table. Yeah, it's been an interesting time. So,
Yeah.
beware the Ides of February. That's how the saying goes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, wait a minute. Does Paul put out the Saturday show? I thought he doesn't put it out till Monday. Are you sure it's out already?
Oh, Monday. Okay. It might be Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
I know he
Monday.
put that one on Wednesday, so it should be out tomorrow. My bad.
Yeah. You guys make sure
But
you
yeah.
check that show out. Nazareth was on with FC, and they did a show on CIG and the funding and a whole bunch of other stuff too. But check it out. It was a really good show yesterday. And yeah, did a good job on it as always. Had a good. I'm sure you had
Thank you.
fun
Thank
for
you.
February, Black History Month. Your regular time you like to mess with Paul, so that's cool. Um, and also joining us today, as I mentioned, is one of the new members of our team, a name that's been familiar in the Star Citizen community for quite a while, and he's been obviously a part of our own community for a good amount of time. The one and the only Black Intellect, another voice that you've heard but maybe never seen. So, Bi, welcome to the show, welcome to the team. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. A long-time listener and viewer and fan, first-time guest. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, you ain't a guest now.
yeah,
You're on the team now. You stuck, so it's over with now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say you got tricked, but hey, welcome to the team. But I hope you have some. You're gonna have some interesting times. I'm guessing, but instead of calling him
I
Black
bet.
Intellect,
I bet.
I call him Mr. Intellect because I'm nasty.
Oh Lord.
Hey, no ban. There are no bans.
Yeah. All I'm gonna tell you with that is good luck. Okay, Bi. That's all I'm gonna say is good luck. You have to deal with fastcart now on another level. But anyway, thank you again for being here with us. And again, we hope everybody's doing well. This week we have a lot of things to kind of cover for our first hour of the show with Star Citizen this week, and we're gonna jump right into it because there is, let me ask you guys a question. But as I was preparing for the show, I started realizing that, even though we've been talking about patches, and we've talked about the fact that CIG is going back to providing more video and shows, I've also just noticed that just in general, every week we've had things to talk about. Am I making sense? Like,
Yeah,
it was more
there's a lot more
sporadic.
content to cover.
Yeah, it was more
Yeah, we were
sporadic back
struggling
in the
last year.
day. But I mean, not even last year. I'm just speaking in general, like week to week, you might have had, it's like sometimes you would get like a This Week in Star Citizen, it'd just be two things on there, right? Or three things. But like right now, I'm actually having to cut back and not put everything down. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because
Yeah, I
it
understand.
we can burn through the first hour just talking about stuff that happened during the week. I mean, how are you guys feeling? And Bi, I'll start with you since this is your first day. How are you feeling about just information coming from CIG, whether it's newsletters, whether it's the shows, whether it's posts in social media? How are you feeling about it nowadays?
I think I love the speed. They started last year with ramping up the speed of the way that they release stuff to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like it. I like having more stuff to do. I do think that many players are used to a slower pace and giving the game a break for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and coming back and expecting not much has changed, are now coming back and being overwhelmed with how much has changed
Mm-hmm.
in the little time they've taken a break. So that's a problem I'm sure CIG loves to have, but it does cause some friction with the speed.
Yeah. I've just been kind of, literally like there are times when I don't even get to everything for that week. Like I'm trying to get through like patch notes, monthly reports and things like that. It's just a lot of information now, and I'm actually relying on certain other content creators to give me some of my information when I'm driving around. I'm listening to Board Gamer or Super Mac Brothers, the guys who go through and read everything in detail. And even Space Tomato. I always listen to Space Tomato, but there are people I listen to now because if I can't get to something, I just have to tune into somebody else who's going to kind of spend that time to read through things that are happening in the community. But to me, it's just been a good. I mean, I like it, and I don't know if that's a reflection of the fact that we're getting more stuff, more things are being done, not just in the sense of patches, but just in general. So I'm kind of digging it. And so one of the things, Charles, DCI, how are you, my friend? Good to see you as always. 36 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And New Soul Sounds, don't want to forget about you. Thank you as well for that resub on Prime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate all
51 months.
donations.
That's almost
All donations.
5 full years.
Yeah. They're old. They're OGs. They've been around for a little while. They've been around a little while. Okay, well, listen, like I said, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. So let's kind of jump in. Yes.
Just skip all over me, okay.
What about you? You opened the show. What do you open about? About the I'm sorry. You're right. About the frequency of information. Yes.
The frequency, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is a true story. This week when this week in Star Citizen, the link came up. I opened it up and I was like, oh dang, that's a lot compared to normally. Because like you said, they normally have two or three stuff. This time they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff this week. So I was particularly this week is a busy week. But yes, I've seen kind of a ramp up from CIG, and I think that's for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Lord of the Drip, good to see you. Thank you for saying what you said because I neglected to put that on the docket. And so I'm going to talk about what you just brought up. And that is Evocati began this week with the test of the new inventory system. I know I'm dropping this on you guys because it wasn't on the docket, but I know you know that this already took place. From what you've heard, if you Evo, you ain't got to say nothing. Well, you can. You can say whatever you want to if you Evo. You just can't show anything, right? So no pictures, no video. You can't take out any pictures or video. But either way, what are your thoughts about what you've heard or seen in relation to the new inventory? FC, I'll go to you first on this one.
I haven't heard much of anything at this time this is my first time hearing about the magic bag. No, that's my first time. I heard about it, but I was busy at the time and didn't pay attention, so I don't have much to say about this one, unfortunately. But
all right.
I mean, other than that, we've had a magic bag of holding before they took it away, and a lot of people got upset. I'm just worried that that might happen again.
Okay, well, we'll have to explain to you why he's calling it a magic bag of holding, because it's not the same thing that we had before. So
it's not the same thing.
No,
okay,
but we will cover that. I can see why he's saying it, but we're going to cover that in a hot second. But yeah, what about you? Some thoughts about what you heard from Evocati or saw from Evocati?
I didn't play on Evocati, but I saw some of the leaks on Discord of the photos and the pictures, and it looks great to me. I mean, it's a much needed improvement on a system that, needed it, like the way the star map needed it, just to be functional. It seems to be a lot more approachable for new players because there's a lot of similarities between games that people have played before. But it also seems like it has that depth and that complexity that's and more manageable with people with, we have a lot of players with a lot of stuff because they've been backers for so long, and it needed to have that carry all and move all functionality. So I think it's a good move.
Okay. CC Creator, Envoy 70, both you guys, we love you. Thank you so much for those subs. Appreciate you guys supporting us as always. Good to see you, Envoy. I haven't seen you in a while. CC we saw last week. That guy, he was on last week, so we've seen him. But we appreciate both of you. Let me cut through the chase because we're adding this to the docket, and I know we still have a lot to cover for this show. Much of fastcart, what we saw at CitizenCon when they showed us what the new inventory layout was about, that's still a lot of that is still relevant. It's still part of that program. And as far as the interface goes, there's a little bit of rough edges in there, but people kind of like the direction of where they were going. But there's one particular thing that I got in. And by the way, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out Dig That's latest video, Dig That covers this very, very well. and I wasn't aware of it until I heard something a few days beforehand. I think it was on Reddit. And then when I saw Dig That's video, it made sense. And fastcart, what the thing is that, you know how like when you want to go up and loot a body, you go to the body and usually you hit F and then you can like see what the body has on it.
Oh, yes, I did hear about it.
Okay, you did hear about it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Rasta-san, thank you so much for that sub. You guys put us on the hype train. Thank you. Thank you for 32 months. We appreciate that. Thank you, Rasta-san. Okay. So what I saw before I saw Dig That's video was that someone posted, oh, here's the range for being able to detect things to pull them to open up an inventory. Now, normally you would have to walk up to a loot box, hit the button that's over it, and open the loot box, right? Oh my God.
That's a lot.
Shimpasta. Thank you
Shimpasta.
for the 10 community subs. Y'all throw some love at all these people that are loving you all today during this month of Cormore, this weekend of love. Thank you. We love you as well. Thank you so much for that. You guys are kicking us off with a wonderful February, which is great because next month is our anniversary. We want to do some giveaways. So this is perfect timing.
And also, this is a short month, so we don't have much time to get those subs in.
Yeah, we lost a week. We didn't have a show 1 week, right? So we forgot. Okay. So here's the deal, fastcart. Normally you walk up to a box, you hit it, it opens up, you go in and get your stuff out of it, right? If you're there with your buddies, they're working on a body, you're working on a box, somebody else is doing something. What they did was they increased the range for inventory now. And I think the range is 3.5 meters, which means you don't have to walk up to the box. You just have to be within proximity of the box or within proximity of anything that's within 3.5 meters of you. So if there's a body and a box, you can move between all those inventories simultaneously. Now, if you got some friends that ain't greedy, ain't no big deal, right? A lot of times you go in a place, you tell people what's in the box, you call it out anyway, right? But if you've got some greedy people, they might like snatch everything up and say, oh, there was nothing in there, right? Or move things around, right? That's one issue. But the issue that I have struggled with, and I think it's the thing that I heard in Dig That's video, was that there is a certain level of physicality immersion that is being removed. If it was just looting, I don't know how to say this. I'll say it plainly. When I go on my ship, I don't want to stand in my room, hit a button, and I can see my locker, my this, my that, and that all at the same time. I actually, this is me, y'all. I actually want to walk to the locker, open it. I actually want to go to this and open it. I don't want to hit one button and everything in that room becomes available to me. I like the fact that these different areas are there, right? I like the physicality of walking to them, moving and interacting with them. Now, some people, I can understand, some people may like that because they look at it from a time factor. I just stand in the middle of my room, hit the quarters, and whatever the 4 inventory areas I have, I hit the button once and all 4 of them pop up on the screen and I can just move things around. There is some coolness to that, don't get me wrong. Now, does that mean that I no longer have that interactiveness? Some people will say, well, you can still walk up to that one thing and do it, and that's an option. And if that's the case, that I can still walk up to that locker and open it, that's okay. It's giving options, right? For the person who wants to open the locker physically, they have that option. For the person who doesn't want to do that, they have that option. This is kind of like the whole thing with, flight ready and switching switches, right? Some people say give them both options. For me, I hope they don't make it so that range is just really big for me. That's, 3.5 meters is a big area of space. I don't know, Black Atlantic, I see you're kind of shaking your head, or you're nodding your head. What are your thoughts about this thing?
I think, it's like a lot of things to me. It seems like CIG is trying to wean gamers off of some of the behaviors they've been taught over the last couple of decades around, mini maps and this kind of thing.
Right.
And this seems to be that kind of half measure where they don't want to cut people off cold turkey where everything is physicalized because we'll go crazy. The typical gamer will go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But they also don't want to have it where you can access everything in the universe at the same time. So they're trying to like feather that clutch. So.
And Pop says this, and Pops, I know that it only the first person who does it can move the items. Everybody else can see it. And there's still a certain, and I get it. I guess I see how it can go both ways. You know what I mean? maybe it's the me that just likes the way the interaction is, and that's kind of how I am. And like I said, Pops, if they give it as an option that I could do it either way, I could probably live with it, because that's the way I want to play. I don't want to force other people to play that way. But I hope that they make it as an option. But BI, to your point, this may be just tossing the bread on the water. Let's see how it lands, and then let's see how we can reel it in and make it whatever. And I hope that becomes what the case is, that it gets refined. Even if it's the range factor, right? Maybe it's not 3.5 meters. Maybe it's only, 2 meters, right? Or something like that. I don't know. But I think that somebody said it in chat. I think it wasn't Chimpas, it was the prisoner. Somebody said something about, if it's just looting bodies or something, that's fine. And I can even live with that. But if I just don't want to go in my ship, we got all these cool areas. That's just me. Maybe I'm just being an old fart. I don't know.
Girlfriend. We're playing a game that's 900 years in the future. We have tractor beams, and it's called Beam Citizen. So it's evident that we can use space magic to do this.
Yeah, but we try to stay away from space magic. But we try to stay away from space magic to a certain degree. That's why we don't have fast travel, right? I mean, that's the whole point. There's an aspect of time in doing things. But I could be, I could be wrong. But let's see how it goes. I agree. It's nothing's written in stone. It's not in cement. It's just one of the tests that came out in relation to inventory.
Tier 1, tier 0.
Right.
I'm playing a game called Archetype Enfield, and they have something similar. Except it's not that I can look in the box and the stuff that comes out pops out, and then I have companions all around me. The companions are the ones who pick up the stuff for me, and they have a pretty good range.
Yeah.
And I've gotten used to it, so I'm liking this idea.
Okay, that's fair. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it then. Let's get on program here for our items. The first one here is the February monthly bundle. BI, I'm going to come to you first. Did you get one? Do you hate it? Are you passing? Might get it later?
Well, okay, so let me, as I'm new, let me preempt any "did you get that" questions by "no, I'm cheap."
That's fair.
But
no, don't say cheap, say you're frugal.
Exactly. I thought it looked really cool. I thought the color was nice. The big heart thing was a little too much. I think they just should have done with the color, but it was nice.
Yeah. Okay. FC?
I think they're trying to do an homage to Ironheart, the new Iron Man, the next Iron. Well, it's in Iron Man universe, because Ironheart has a little heart in the symbol too, and doesn't really glow like that. So maybe I'm seeing it through Marvel colored glasses, but I didn't pick one up. I'm not gonna pick one up. The color scheme, for one thing, is doesn't appeal to me, and I don't have the vehicle. So yeah.
Okay.
But well, I do appreciate what they're trying to do.
Okay. Well, I'm a sucker. First of all, any of the those love colors, that purplish, whatever luminescent color, I love that color. I would make my whole fleet that color, right? So I haven't bought this though, but I literally love this color. Every time I think I picked up $50 worth of these paints this time, because there were some new ships that they put out that I grabbed, and I was too afraid they may not come back later. I like the idea of the heart. Now let me explain to you what I think they should have done. I would have loved for them to have had the heart and had it literally where the heart is smaller, like over the breast, that's smaller, and the possibility of turning it on and off. That thing that they got right there says center mass. It don't say love. Okay, it says shoot me right here.
Or even just the shoulders. Just the shoulders would have
even
been
the show, yeah, on the arm, right, on the arm, the shoulder, yeah. Something like how this is, right, just something like that. But putting it dead center like that, CIG, I don't know. That says like here's a big target. If you're out in the dark and you see this thing running around, I mean, we already have armor with lights on it as it is, which is kind of crazy, but. I get the idea. It's cute.
My question is, who would wear this in the dark if they know they're going to?
Oh no! We have plenty of armor in this game that has lights on it. You may not notice it, but there are tons of armor.
Yeah, you're right.
That have lights on them, right?
I'm just saying this specifically. Who would wear this out in the dark? No.
Yeah, if that man. And here's the kicker: I actually like that armor that they have. But the heart, I'm wrestling with that. I am really struggling with this one, as much as I love the color and everything. And I've been collecting all of these Karamor Coramore armors. So I'm going to see. I haven't bit on this. I do have a Drake Vulture, so this would be great to finally get the paint for the Vulture. But man, oh man, Shevitz, I'm having struggles with that big heart in the middle. Anyway, that's the February monthly bundle. So if you guys are interested, I think these are running like $22 or something like that. If you're interested, once again, paints are going to be coming later on in the game. There's no necessity to buy these. For those of you who are the collectors, those of you who are the completionists, yeah, we know you guys are going to grab stuff like this, whether you like it or not, because you just want to have everything. But again, don't have to get these things, right? Unless you want to just support the project. That's another way of saying you're going to do that with something like this. Okay. Next
I
up.
just wish some of these things were. I just wish some of them were not Warbond. I wish they were like you could buy with that credit too. But
yeah, well, the thing is, and this is the hard part, right? I mean, I know that's a great option to do things, and people love the Warbond credit thing. But the reality of it is, we keep saying, how is CIG going to fund this game? Well, guess what? There you go. There's your answer right there. So don't get me wrong. I mean, there are a lot of us. I think Paul was talking about this yesterday. There are a lot of people who feel they would make more money if they sold the pieces separately, right? If they sold the armor and the ship paint separate. I feel that way, but I think that their marketing people's analytics tell them something different, because if CIG is all about money, they're going to go the route that brings more money. And so even though a lot of us think, oh, dude, I would probably buy that if it wasn't connected to so-and-so. But evidently the numbers say otherwise. People are willing to say, well, I don't like that heart, but I'm going to buy it anyway, right? And so evidently that's the direction that the finances go. And I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, if they're about making the money, they're going to go whatever they think is the best way. Not that they always make the best decision, but I'm just saying, for money, I'm sure they thought about that. This week is Coramore. We announced it last week that it was coming up. That we're in Coramore now. As you know, this is Valentine's weekend, which is Coramore is kind of themed around that particular holiday. Beyond the Stars still lingers the legacy of Yuri and Cora, with citizens celebrating togetherness in all its forms. Expect themed festivities and the way to share the spirit with fellow citizens. And as you guys know, as the Coramore theme paints come out now, with the free fly, if you have a friend who comes on a referral, they get a Coramore paint armor rather, and I think you get the hover quad. If you're a veteran player, you get the hover quad, and so that's kind of a thing that's going on right now as well. Does Coramore do anything for you guys, or just kind of like a nice little lore thing and you keep on pushing?
You go ahead, Black and Delete.
You two, yeah, you're not fighters, you're lovers. So what's the scoop? What's the deal?
Exactly. I mean, I think it's a cute little community event. It has a nice little story, a star-crossed lover story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I think things like this are a great way to get in. You talk about like what they're going to need to do to make money. They're going to have to attract what we call stinky casuals, right? People who aren't very deep, and this kind of thing, these kind of cosmetics and story is a great way to hook those people into the game. So I'm down for it, although I'm not getting the big Care Bear heart in the middle of my thing.
Okay. FC, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, get ready now.
Okay.
This is one of those annual events that highlights relationships, right? Do you think that Star Citizen will promote, or that the gamers will promote, in-game relationships, like in games like Second Life, or when we played Star Wars Galaxies, people had in-game weddings and things like that? Do you think that they'll have something that will come up, other festivities that couples, people in love
I need a clarification. Are you asking, will CIG get involved, or will it be players who get involved?
I'm saying, do you think it will be in the universe? Whoever promotes
I think it will be in the universe. I don't know whether or not Final Fantasy Online, or Final Fantasy 14 has a thing where you can actually get married in game. They have the whole ceremony, and it's put out by the developers. I don't see CIG doing that, or if they do it, It won't be 1.0. It'll be like maybe 2.0 or something like that. It'll be something far down the line before CID gets involved. But players, yes, they will do it. Matter of fact, I'll be happy to let them use my band investment as a venue.
Okay. All right. BI, what do you think? Do you think that type of role play or gameplay will step into the Star Citizen world, or you think we're just going to be all hardcore dudes running around and,
Yeah, I definitely think so, and I think that again, I like Fastcart said. I think it'll probably be community created. This community has created amazing things, third-party things so far, and I can only imagine once the RP people and the other sort of niche players start, seeing Star Citizen, that there'll definitely be relationships, both created and destroyed in the verse.
Okay. Listen. When I played Star Wars Galaxies, I was married. We had 2 houses on Naboo. I went to other people's weddings. People would hire, check this out. People would hire people to make their what do you call it? The grooms?
The wedding gown?
The grooms. Okay. And all of the what do they call the women? The bridesmaids? They would have complete custom made stuff, right? And they would make full blown, and then everybody would do like wedding pictures, like lined up and everything. I know y'all think it's crazy, y'all. Okay, but I'm telling you, it got deep. I mean, it really got deep. The level that people, and this was all a part of the economy, right? Because you had to pay somebody to make all this stuff for you, right? Then there was a venue. You go to the place where, well, hang on a second, Fastcart. You would go to where, what's her name, Princess Amidala, and then they went to that location and got married in the game. It was like to that degree. So go ahead, FC. What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say, Griffin, I'll show you some wedding videos from Final Fantasy 14. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just wait for it.
Okay. I get it.
I'm not gonna say they outdid Star Wars Galaxy, but they probably
no. They probably did.
Star Wars Galaxy.
They probably did. I'm just saying that people went to great lengths to do this stuff, right? And it'd be really interesting to see whether that will
by the way,
happen.
MT Stunner said for a small fee, and I'm like, of course, for a small fee, you can use my band investment. That was implied.
Oh,
you
boy.
think I'm going to let me use it for free?
Oh, boy.
I'm a businessman. What are you talking about?
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. My third thing is not popping up on screen. Oh, that's because it's no longer a thing. I forgot we removed that. Coramore. Oh, okay. We skipped this one. That's why, because we're not going to do that one now. So, we didn't do our video. We were supposed to open with that video, and I didn't open with it. So let me run the video, and then we're going to come. Well, no, we'll just do this video. I'm not going to worry about doing the other video. We're going to watch the behind the ships video. For those of you who didn't see it yet, it's for the moth, the Argo moth. And then we're going to come back and talk about it. So let's watch that real quick. It's not a long video, so.
The Argo Moth is the long-awaited, much-requested medium salvager for Star Citizen.
It's supposed to fill the gaps between our small single-siege salvage ships, such as the Vulture and the Salvation, and the massive Aegis Reclaimer.
Small salvage ships, they produce rubble. The large one, like the Reclaimer, they produce construction material salvage. And the medium ship, we create construction material pieces. The refining time for the rubble is the fastest. For the pieces, it's like in the medium part, whereas for the salvage, it's like the longest refining times it will take. For crafting, the difference between the 3 different construction material raw versions of it will be that basically retaining the quality of the material.
With the Moth, we wanted to take our medium operator-sized ships that we have already, we have them all, it's a great ship, and pivot that system over into salvage.
Sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel, and we thought that building on top of the Mole to make the Moth made perfect sense. The Mole is successful as a mining ship, particularly multi-crew-wise, due to the fact that it has all those turrets that can cover pretty much the entire 360 degrees under the ship as well as around it. It's not completely full coverage, but it's pretty good. and the turrets have freedom of movement to really mine anywhere. And that really lends itself to salvage as well, which shares a lot of that sort of similar mechanics.
I think the Mole is a very successful ship in what it's built for. So getting the opportunity to revisit it with the lessons we've learned and put some new life into it with a slightly different role and slightly different purpose was really exciting.
And this allows us to iterate more easily on our current ships that are going out. But it also means that we can take some of those improvements and changes back to those original ships later down the line.
We've tried to make changes where they were needed, but not make changes for change's sake. But the kind of like the standout thing, if I'm honest, it's the arms.
What's your favorite aspect of the month?
Yeah, my favorite aspect is the new grinders.
The giant munching arms that it's got on the front, they look great.
They just feel kind of super chunky, super industrial, super dangerous.
My favourite aspect of the ship is the grabby hands.
They look really cool and give it a nice quirk to the shape.
Probably the grabby hands.
Everybody says grabby hands, why?
It is such a key part of the ship's visuals because they're very big, very industrial. There's lots of weight behind them, but at the same time, there's also really intricate little details.
I was trying to make them look a bit intimidating, like a bit dangerous, like you really would want your hands to be caught in anything. It was also very fun to work on the animations to kind of figure out how in the different states the arms would kind of retract, the claws would open up, big hydraulic pistons kind of retracting, moving around. And yeah, of course, the crushers spinning.
Are you aware that nearly a decade ago we had another system called Grabby Hands that has nothing to do with this?
No, I was not aware. What was that?
Discolando remembers.
It takes a crew of 4, so far fewer than you need for the Reclaimer, but it actually gives you some multiplayer gameplay as opposed to the Vulture. All 4 of those players will be able to take part in the salvage gameplay loop. We have 3 manned turrets, each with a size 2 salvage head. And the pilot gets access to the main structural salvage crusher.
Can this ship be operated solo?
Yeah, like all our ships, it can be operated solo. But if you operate a ship solo of a certain size, you get some downsides to it.
It would just be a lot of dancing around between the different seats. But at the same time, you're also going to be saving some time because you're going to be able to carry a lot more. So you're going to have less trips back and forth.
What kind of defensive capabilities does this thing got?
Very minimal defensive capabilities. This is first and foremost an industrial ship. The pilot has 2 S2 slots available to them. The co-pilot gets access to a bespoke small missile rack with 16 S2 missiles.
The belly of the ship has changed quite a lot. We've now got this large split cargo grid that is in a vertical orientation. So when the salvage material is rejected out, it blows straight onto this large cargo grid that kind of takes up the majority of the belly of the ship.
One of the improvements over the Mole chassis is the fact that the cargo grids are just normal cargo grids. Whilst the salvage output does automatically eject onto them and it does use standardized ASU crates, there's nothing to stop you putting any other cargo compatible item on those cargo grids, which allows you to then perhaps do a bit of cargo. Maybe you find some salvage on the way that you want to do. It doesn't limit you to doing one or the other. You do have the ability to do both at the same time.
The rear of the ship has a really nice cargo lift for 2 16 SCU containers. So you can get a bit of hauling gameplay in there as well.
And just in front of that is the old personnel lift. Both take you up into the newly, sort of slightly reimagined cargo area. From there to the left and right, you've got the entrances to the side salvage turrets, and then a ladder that leads you up onto the main deck.
One of the things we realised as we were working on the ship was to be able to get out some of the components out of the ship, we needed to widen the doors and widen the ladder down to the lower floor. And this gives a nice route through the ship to be able to get those ship items out.
To the rear of the ship from there are the beds and the bathroom and a couple of suit lockers. And then forwards from habitation is into the processing room.
We basically took the pre-existed engineering room from the mall and converted to a processing room.
Feels very hot, very industrial, and a little claustrophobic. You have an engineering screen in the middle. Some of the components have been sort of reshuffled around to make space for a big refinery, which is on board.
Forwards further still is the bridge, which has the pilot and co-pilot seats.
As we're kind of revisiting the cockpit, we've updated it a little bit, so we've brought in a few new interactions, kind of modernized the view a little bit. Things like the dashboard improvements, the interactive panels that we placed around the ship, those sort of things will kind of be retrofitted back onto the mole as well.
Like the Asgard and the Hermes, the Moth is a new hull based on an existing chassis, and that means it doesn't share paints with the Mole.
But we are making some really nice new paints for the Moth. So we're going to have a lot of two-tone paints coming in. So you'll see that we have decided to spice them up a bit.
So we're excited now that we have the full set of salvage ship sizes. We have you starting with the Salvation, moving to the Vulture and Fortune. Now we have the Moth, and then ultimately you end up with the Reclaimer.
It was very fun to work on, very nice to work on something industrial.
Just the little changes to the flow that we've had to make, opening up some areas just to allow a little bit of a smoother kind of gameplay experience has been really nice.
This is for the person who enjoys salvage gameplay but wants something bigger.
Okay. BI, anything stand out for you on this one with the Argo Moth? I won't ask you, did you buy it? Just ask
Exactly.
you. I'll just ask you anything that stands out for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think oh, I got an ink of you. There you go. I think that it's definitely a ship I'm gonna get. I'll probably wait until it's in game.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. I was hearing myself. Oh, that was the worst thing in the world. So anyway, I'm definitely gonna get it. I have a Salvation. I have a Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to be a solo. I'm an industrial player primarily, and I tend to be a solo player. But it's definitely a ship I would do with a crew as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love that they tried to reposition the guns more forward facing than the Mole is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a great addition to the industrial player base. Yeah.
Okay. FC, anything stand out to you about the Moth?
Multi-operator targeted harvester, CID. Where did these names come from?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I do like the improved changes to the cockpit. I thought those were cool. I'm not getting one myself. I was a miner in EVE Online. I could mine for 8 hours straight. That's how I built my first. That's how I used to mine my own materials to build my own ships in EVE Online. I'm not looking to doing that in Citizen. If I need some materials, it depends on how much they cost when 1.0 launches and stuff like that, how the economy works on it and stuff like that. I'll just probably decide then whether or not I'll buy the ship in game and get my own materials and then use them, or just get them off the market. But for now, I'm passing on the Moth, I did say.
You know, the really cool thing I forgot to mention too that they put in the video was that they made improvements and that they're going to retrofit those improvements onto the Mole, and that's great. Yeah,
that was one of the things I was going to mention that I was happy to hear, because one of the things they did was they did enclosures for each of the operator areas, which is really nice. I think that they did a great job on this. As a, this is the argument about the variant stuff, and I don't know, how do you guys feel about CIG taking and I know that we've had this happen with the last couple ships. We've heard from the Apollo, to the Hermes, where we had a body styling that was very close, and then there was slight modifications to it, and then the ship gets a different category of use. And so where you've got like the Argo, where you hit the RSI Apollo, which was a medical ship in the conversion to a cargo version. Here you've got the Mole mining ship, and there's a conversion to salvaging, which to me is a much closer kind of shift in the sense of it still being industrial, but just modified. And I feel it's much of a modified version of the other ship than a total category change, which we saw happen with the Hermes and the Apollo. So how do you guys feel about, and this is a big thing that I heard people talking about, was can you use the paints from the Mole on this? And the answer was no. And some people are like, well, oh well. And there are other people like, they're just getting us for the money, right? How do you guys feel when ships are very close in design like this, but they're changed just enough so that the paint, and I mean, there's a technical issue too, because the ship is physically different in its design. It does not have the same physical design. Are you guys okay with it? Wish they would keep it so that the paints could convert? I'm just curious to what you guys think about it.
I'll go first. For me, between the Apollo and the Hermes, I could understand it because, like you said, it's a category shift. They serve vastly different purposes. So for that, I was okay with it. Between the salvage and the miner, they're so close together. I would expect that the paint would transfer over, but as I said in the video, that's they made changes, but they're bringing some of those changes from the Mole back. I'm sorry, from the Moth over back to the Mole. So maybe I would hope that they would be able to make the changes so that the skins from the Moth and Mole will work between them, but that's probably not going to be the case.
I'm going to tell you, keep hoping, because that's not going to happen. Because, and I'm saying it because the physical structure of the ship, even though it's very similar, there are physical differences in it that skin could not fit over. They'd have to create that. They can't, even if you overlaid it, it's laid out differently. So I think that's an issue.
But the thing is, like, I remember for like the Mark II Hornet, there were differences between like the Super Hornet and the Mark II, all the Mark II, the Super Hornet Mark II, the Tracker Mark II, the Ghost Mark II.
Right.
When you apply a skin to them, each ship looks slightly different. So it's not that CLG can't do it or haven't done it before.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that it's
argument that really holds water for me?
Well, it holds water in the sense of that you don't have to buy it. That you can buy ships. You can buy. No, don't get me wrong. I would agree with you if it was the only way to get paint. But the reality of it is that you will be able to go into the ship stores and buy paints and put them on there, right? Without real money. Yeah, you can. You can buy paints in the game with in-game money.
You can buy. You can get the
but you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't been able to find that store. Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, you go to Cousin Crow's and some other places there. You can buy ship paints in game. Some of the paints are on the store that you can get in game. But I'm just saying, I think we wrestle with this again. We wrestle with this conversation. I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm just bringing out conversations that people have. We wrestle with how will CIG fund the game, and then when they come up ways to fund the game, we say, how come you guys are trying to make money off of it? It's like these two things are going on simultaneously, right? I'm just saying these are two conversations that happen within the community, right? Don't get me wrong. I wish that the certain paints would carry over, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I don't need to buy that paint. Now, of course, there are those things they create like a limited paint or a paint that comes out with the ship that made people want it and stuff like that. And I can understand why people would want it. Believe me, I get it. I'm a Mole person, so I would love for those paints to translate over. BI, you brought up the point about the modifications. I think that is important. And this is where we saw something very similar happen with the Perseus and the Polaris, right? Where they did the Perseus and they said, hey, there's some things we learned and we're going to incorporate those things back into the Polaris. And they've already started doing that. And they want to do the same thing with the Mole, which I think is a great thing for them to do when they find ways to refine and make things better.
The other thing that they did, I think they learned a lesson, is that you can carry cargo, you can attach cargo to where the salvage comes out. And so I think they learned you can't do that with the Fortune, but I think they learned that guys that are doing salvage, they may also be doing cargo, and people want to have the ability to pick up a box or two. So that was great.
They learned it with your other ship. They learned it with the Salvation, because that's where they introduced that. The Salvation was the one that, when I saw that they did that with the Salvation, that you could put cargo in there, and I said, oh, smart move, right? For that starter person, it gave them that being able to do salvage, and if they want to do some small cargo with 6 SCU cargo or something like that, they could at least do that with that particular ship. This ship, I feel, because of the design with the boxes, even though it would have been nice for them to have done that with the Fortune, because the Fortune's boxes, they magnetically stick on the side. It would be kind of cool if they did that. But I like the fact that they did this. And I also like the fact that they included the cargo area in the back, which I thought was really nice. When I walked through this ship, I was like, this is like nice. I mean, in the sense of what they did, with the things that they've learned to improve the ship. It doesn't do everything, but they added enough niceness to it that I think it's a very, very cool ship. Very, very cool ship. Yeah, okay. All right. That's the Argo Moth. I love the fact that they came up with the moth idea. Moths, kind of eat stuff. Next thing you know, you look up and they've eaten your stuff up, which is pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next when they make up for CIG, Mothballs.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, 4.6. Yeah, CBI. This is what you got to live with. Just be ready for it. 4.6.0. Interestingly enough, we had that before. We talked a little bit about 4.7 last week, but there was some other things that have been introduced in this particular patch. The new resource gathering missions. There's some new industrial missions that were added, some additional missions that have been added in that area. Obviously, we just talked about the Argo Moth being introduced, and we didn't talk about the price point on that real quick before I move beyond it. How did you guys feel about that price point? I think it was $290. Is that what it was? Cash, war bond,
website or something like that.
I can't remember what it was.
I'm looking it up, trying to scroll down to it, but I'm not going to it. There it is.
I think, was it 315 cash? Really? I thought it was cheaper than that cash. Okay, 315 war. Okay, yeah, 290 war bond, 315 credit. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so same as the mole. Is that same as the mole as in Warbond? Or same? Are they? Those are the same prices for both? Because I can't remember.
They're 315 is the same as the mole.
Are you? No. I wanted the Warbond price. I'm not talking about credit. What's the Warbond price?
I don't know. But
the Warbond's 290. It's 290. It's 290.
Yeah, the Warbond's 290 for the moth, but I don't know what it is for the mole.
That's what I'm saying for the mole. I thought the mole was 3 something, but I could be wrong. I thought the mole cost a little bit more, but I could be wrong, guys. But if it's the same price, fair,
It's okay. It's just, the price is justifiable as long as it is around the same price as the mule or the mole.
The mole.
Right?
Yes.
They have to be close to each other.
Yeah. Citizen Not Ninja said the mold, MOLD. That's funny. I was kind of laughing about that. Okay. How do you guys feel about that price point? You feel it's pretty fair?
For me, I would like to get it in game. But I mean, I know people who got it because they're excited about salvaging, especially since the Reclaimer is the next step up. But that's too much for them, or certain logistics issues with it.
Will this ship steal steam from the Reclaimer? Because groups of 4 to 5, they say this ship is designed for a group of 4. And I've known plenty of people who've gone out in their Reclaimers with 4 people, 5 people. Will this steal the thunder from people using their Reclaimers?
I think
Some
so.
people.
I think it definitely will. I think it will, simply because it is up to date gold standard.
Okay.
And the Reclaimer is so old and so clunky in terms of just the functionality that there'll be people who just come down to the mole until they do a gold pass on the Reclaimer. So.
Also, you can almost get two moths for the price of almost one Reclaimer. That's about, but not quite. But yeah, the rest didn't quite work out. But if you have enough people to do 2 moths, I can see that people might do that. You don't think so?
I don't know. I have a certain feeling about multi-crew ships. You can solo these ships, right? People say it all the time, and I've known people who soloed the mole before. It's inefficient to me. That's just, to me, it's inefficient. I know people that do it; they enjoy it. God bless their little hearts, but it is inefficient to me. And I agree when BI says that the Reclaimer, even though you've got the huge amount of cargo you can hold, it is a monstrosity. And I don't think that, even though we use it to do it, we use it because we have it. I like the fact that they said this is designed for 4 people. And to me, don't get me wrong. 2 people can do it, 3 people can do it, 4 people. 1 person can do it. I just am curious to see whether or not people are going to leave the Reclaimer, even though it's a smaller amount of cargo, but they may feel efficiency is a better opportunity. Because the Reclaimer, you can go out in the Reclaimer and spend a lot of time out in the Reclaimer if you want to. But I'm just curious as to what you guys think people will do. I have no feelings in either direction. I'm just really curious. Fast carts hit the new hotness or the old and busted. That's funny.
I've tried to solo the mule. Yes, I've tried to solo the mule before, and like you say, logistically it's a hassle. The up and down, the up and down.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that with the moth, because the lasers are pointed more forward, it'll be a little bit less whatever. But if you're the kind of person that is soloing in a Reclaimer right now, soloing a moth is nothing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I don't know 2 people who solo Reclaimer. I have had somebody told me they did it. 1 person who told me they soloed a Reclaimer, but I do know plenty of people who solo the mole. Right, they've gone out because they like the greater capacity and they can kind of get out there and do stuff. Someone asked a question in chat about, I think it was Sim Saladin. You said how many crew the Reclaimer? Okay, so here's the number on the Reclaimer. I'm just giving you positions and based upon when the ship is operating. People can go to a Reclaimer now. If you have 2 laser operators, a pilot in the front, and then at least 1 person down in the cargo hold, you can do it with 4. If you've got 5 people, 2 people in the cargo hold, you can slash those boxes even faster, get them set up and racked up. But technically, if and when the Reclaimer is in its full effect of what it's supposed to be, there's supposed to be a pilot, 2 laser operators, 2 drone operators, a refinery operator, at least somebody down in the cargo area, and assuming if your pilot does both roles of doing the breaking up as well as flying, they can handle that. So you're talking at least 6 to 7 people on a Reclaimer when it's, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's how many people are supposed to be positioned. That's how many positions there are, right? Just so you'll know. But right now, because the refinery's not doing anything, the drones aren't in there, you can get away with doing it with like 4 to 5 people, comfortably.
And I have to correct myself. I thought the Reclaimer was more expensive than what it is. I expected it to be $600, but it's only $400.
Oh no!
I got to retract my. Yeah, I thought it was more than that because it's such a big ship. But yeah, so $400 versus $315. Okay,
cool. All right. Let me get back to this 4.6 thing. The medical light armor Chiron. I'm assuming that's Chiron. That armor is the same armor that we see for the with the heart, for the February thingy. Okay, so that's a new armor. But there's a medical light armor of that, and I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. As you guys know, several months back, CIG introduced 3 medical armors. There's a light, a medium, and a heavy that they introduced. You guys might remember it was white with the red trim and all that stuff. Made you look like the big Michelin man, but with red trim. Anyway, they're introducing another new medical armor called the Chiron. And then in relation to 4.7, we had some new faction outfits, the Claw Salamanders, and then this was mentioned last week as well. There's there's a new heavy combat armor and a new light combat armor. We don't know what those are just yet, but that's for 4.7, and that would be during March. I think like around March 23rd. They're estimating when that's going to come out. You guys know anything about these Claw Salamanders? This faction? Have you guys heard anything about them yet? I haven't heard Squadron.
First of all, horrible name, awful name. I don't like the name.
Claw Salamanders.
I did love on the roadmap. It sort of put. I know it's tentative, but it says crafting in March, and that was great to see.
Yes.
But no, I hadn't heard anything about this group, and I'm interested to see whether or not they'll be a sort of typical gang like the Pyro gangs, or whether it's a different kind of gang to the sticks. So.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Ooh, gotta get ready to wrap it up. It's almost top of the hour. Free Fly. Free Fly is going on right now from February 12th through February 23rd. Play Star Citizen for free and pilot some of the most dependable ships dependable ships in the universe. No strings attached. Whether you're a veteran or a newcomer, take to the stars and fall in love again and again and again. One of the things I've noted, I posted a video in our Discord today. I've been seeing a lot more videos of people who have been trying Star Citizen for the first time. Have you guys seen any of those videos? It's been really interesting to see the reaction, see what people struggle with when they're first playing the game. But it's also interesting to see what most of the responses have been like. Back in the day, I used to see a lot of responses that was like, I tried it, but it ain't ready. I've tried it, I got frustrated. Or maybe I tried it, it was okay, or I can see the potential. What are you guys hearing today with people or seeing in these videos with new people who are kind of coming in, or someone you talk to? You guys got anything that you've heard or seen?
I definitely have seen a lot more new players come in, mostly on YouTube, but also on Twitch. And different, like you say, it's a different kind of player too. And I think it goes to the fact that we're less at the tech demos. We're closer to the release stage than we are to the tech demo stage. We're past the sort of halfway mark, and everybody, even the most salty person, would admit that. And I think the people that are discovering Star Citizen now are just a much more patient, much more methodical. Like, they want to learn the game themselves, and they don't want to run through it. So it's been great to see, for me at least.
Is there a possibility that the somewhat mocked year of stability actually did happen in some forms? In other words, players aren't running into those things that would have been places for them to be frustrated previously. Do you feel like maybe CIG has made the game, and I hate to use this word, but more tolerable? Like, it's in a better state that when things do happen, it's not like people say, I'm done, or I'm through with this, or do you feel like they've actually brought that to a place where now people can be introduced to the game and actually retain them, like keep them interested?
Yeah, I mean, I think what the quote unquote year playability did, I think the increase in the pace of releasing things and along with the stability has just made it so that if you're new and you come into the game, there's a lot more to do before you quote unquote get bored. And the stuff to do is it's a lot easier. You don't need, old backers to explain to you what there is to do as much.
Okay.
And so I think that has been part of what the success has been.
Okay. FC?
I'm trying to find a certain video, but it's not coming up for me. But there is this doctor who tried on Star Citizen.
Okay.
I think you might have given me that link.
Okay.
And it's still interesting. Trip Rodriguez, thank you for the raid.
Thank you, Trip Rodriguez. Hope you are doing well. Thank you from all those who are coming over from Trip streams. Trip, we hope you had a great show tonight. And of course, happy Koromore to you and Valentine's Day and to all your folks. Welcome. We are the Soul Citizens, and we're doing our review of things that have happened in Star Citizen this week before we go into our topic for tonight. So hopefully you will be able to hang out and join us. But if not, Trip, thanks for sending your folks over. We'll take good care of them while they're here. And we hope you have a good night, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Go ahead, FC. So you were saying about this video?
Yeah, okay. It's not a doctor. They just have a D in the name, and I thought it said DR period, but
okay.
It's just D. But yeah, it's a Mass Effect Elite No Man's Sky fan tries Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting to see from people coming from a different game trying Star Citizen and keeping an open mind. So yeah, it's great to see. I don't know. I haven't been seeing as much. Like, I remember when Elite Dangerous brought a lot of people from Elite Dangerous shipped to pun not intended to Star Citizen, and I saw a lot more videos back around that time. I'm seeing less of them this time, but maybe it's because I'm not paying attention, or I'm not actually searching for them. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it's still great to see, and I think they tend to have generally positive opinions for the gameplay. They say a lot of them realize that, oh, this is not a game that I can learn in a day. This person specifically said it might take them 2 weeks before they can get a handle on everything, and I think that's reasonable.
Okay, all right. And last but not least, our sneak peek for this week is titled "The Festival Approaches," and we do have these festivals going on right now. We've got the Coromore Festival and the Coromore Holiday, and then we do have the Red Festival going on. We got some items for Coromore, but we didn't get anything yet for Red Festival. Do you guys think this might have something to do with it?
I think it's coming. Didn't they say that they're doing the festival?
Well,
no, it is. I'm saying, do you think that what we're looking at is related to the Red Festival, or do you think this is something else?
Go ahead,
Black and White. It looks very Asian, sort of design. But when is Chinese New Year this year? That might tell us.
The 14th. It's already passed.
We're in it. So well, it doesn't mean that this can't come because they just dropped some other stuff in. So I'm just curious to what do you think this might be? I mean, the festival, mind you, this came out Friday, so this would have been before the date, right? This came out on the 13th.
Yeah, the cherry blossoms and the little thing around the lamp is a very Asian motif to me. So I think it's going to be definitely something with the,
Okay. Interesting. And it looks like it's being suspended from the ceiling. I could be wrong, but I am curious about if this is something. Well, I don't want to get people's hopes up. I don't want to get people's hopes. I don't want to get people's hopes up, but you got to have a ceiling in order to hang something, right? And so my question is, we'll see where this is leading us in the long run. So,
well, we don't know where it's hanging from. It could be.
It could be. You know what? Not to be funny. Fastcart, I'm glad you said that. See the thing that he's standing in front of? That could actually be a C-shaped thing like this. See, it's like a platform on the bottom, and it's hanging off of there. So you might be right. See? So you might be absolutely right. That might be just one self-contained thing there.
Yeah. I'm right for once a day.
Oh, you're right. You're right a lot. You're right a lot. You're right.
No, but you were suspecting this may be a hanger flare or something like that, right?
Well, some type of flare. Yes, definitely. It's definitely flare. Yes. Who was it who just asked that? Was it Marzipan? No, it wasn't Marzipan. It was Ocean 9/11. I love that. Ocean's 9/11. Yes, it is the year of the horse. You are absolutely positively correct. Thracazox, thank you for that prime sub. 50 months. We appreciate you. We really do. Thank you. And it's good to see you. Zen Viking, thank you for that follow also earlier. We appreciate you as well. Okay.
I would not be surprised if we see something on Monday regarding the Red Festival. I would not be surprised.
It would be cool if we did. Okay. All right. We're going to wrap up this week in Star Citizen this week, I should say. And we're going to take our break. And we're going to do a 1-minute commercial. Then we're going to do our break. We're going to take about a 4-minute break. We're going to get something to drink, take a break. Then we're going to come back with our topic for today. I'm trying to think of what else was there. I know I'm forgetting something here. What is it? I was going to tell you guys. Oh, we got some more information to share with you. But our topic for the day is Coromore. Do we love the dream or do we love the game? So we're going to be hitting that in just a moment. So stick around. We will be right back after this commercial break, and we'll see you.